A couple of weeks ago, I mentioned stashing Adam Duvall, who got off to an amazing start to the season with the Red Sox. Unfortunately, broke his wrist, missed about 2 months, but he homered yesterday after I had a conversation with him. So we'll play that interview now, and then we'll hop back on the other side for some more waiver wire recommendations.
First off, Adam, thanks for making the time to join me here. How are you feeling? Of course, you got off to that monster start to the season before the wrist injury, missed 8 weeks. How's the wrist feeling? How are you feeling at the plate?
The wrist is feeling good. I think it's pretty much back to normal, which is a good thing. So I'm not having too much feedback as far as from game to game with it. So that's big. Obviously, having the confidence that that's water under the bridge, and so that I can move forward, is huge. And I mean, I feel like I'm taking steps forward as far as getting my timing and the contact point back to where I want it to be. But this game, it's a daily grind. It's always a work in process. So, but it's great to be back out there with the guys and, having fun again.
Have you dealt with any hand or wrist issues in the past, or is this a new thing for you?
Well, actually, last year I had surgery on the same wrist. So whenever I injured it again this year, it was pretty scary because I didn't know if it was sort of the same thing or if I re-injured, what I had repaired. So, that was really scary for me at the beginning, and it was probably the best case scenario, a broken wrist. As far as the other things that could have happened. So
right.
I was pretty fortunate.
We often hear people like generalize talking about a wrist issue impacting your power, like in the short term. Do you notice anything like that too, or is it just kind of getting the timing back after missing so much time?
Yeah, I don't think there's a power issue with it. I think it's as strong as the other one. So I think it's more so power is about timing and consistently getting the barrel to the ball. I think, and that's those are mechanical moves, and so just getting that short and sweet swing back and finding that contact point. Then you start driving the baseball. If you're too far back or too far forward, you're not going to hit too many home runs. So
right. Well, with interleague play, you've had a chance to play in Fenway Park before, but being exclusively a National League guy prior to this year, what has that transition been like for you in a unique ballpark, both offensively, defensively, and also adjusting to a new league in general?
Yeah, I'll start with the last one. A new league, all new arms, basically. So seeing guys for the first time is sometimes a challenge, and so you rely on scouting reports, video for that, and so that can be an adjustment in itself. And then defensively, obviously Fenway is very unique. Lots of walls and triangles and angles, and so. Just I think you really got to play a step ahead in your mind as far as knowing the speed of the runner, knowing who's on first, who's on second. Okay, if the ball hits off this wall, where am I going with it? Kind of playing the game in your head ahead of time is probably more important in Fenway than it is in any other ballpark. So I think there's a lot of kind of mental preparation with that, and then offensively, it was one of the reasons that I wanted to play here. Obviously, the Green Monster out and left, I felt like I could take advantage of that. So, I think that was a big appeal for me. So.
Of course. I think that would be a lot of fun. With all the rule changes we've seen this season, pitch clock, shift restrictions, bigger bases, pickoff throw limits, what has surprised you the most about the flow of the game being in it?
I like the pace. I
Yeah.
really do. At first the pitch clock was tough, just getting used to it, and coming back off injury, it's I'm still getting used to it again. So,
Mhm.
but the pace of the game is so much better. It seems like we're not out there as long, we're not on our feet as long, and there's more action. So I think they achieved really what they were going after. So I think it was a good move.
Yeah, Sunday night baseball, Red Sox, Yankees. You're used to that kind of game being a slog until 11 o'clock
Oh,
or midnight. So it's probably good for
right.
you guys to get to bed early or fly where you need to go for sure.
Yeah, I mean, those night getaway games are tough in itself,
Yeah,
especially when they're 4 hours long. So,
yeah,
those being cut down a little bit definitely helps.
yeah. Well, the big reason you're here today is to talk about insulin affordability, the new Tap the Cap campaign. If you want to tell everyone a little bit about your journey with diabetes.
Yeah, so in 2012, I was diagnosed with type 1. I was going into my high A season, then with the San Francisco Giants. And um, it was a tough time for me. It was kind of a punch in the face. I'd been pretty sick in the off season, it was one of those things where I was working out, I was losing weight, I didn't feel great, but I didn't really know what was going on. So kind of just kept pushing through it. And then when I got to spring training, eventually found out through some blood work that my blood sugars had been elevated, and my A1C was pretty high. So that was kind of the start to my journey as a type 1 diabetic. And being over 10 years ago now, I feel like it's important for me to with the platform that I have, to kind of raise awareness, not only for type 1 diabetes, but for what I'm partnering with Lilly about, which is increasing the information available for people and the affordability of insulin, which can be tough. I've dealt with it personally, um, you know, and so just kind of increasing the awareness there. And we're running a campaign right now on Instagram and Facebook. It's called hashtag Tap the Cap. And I think it's important that we kind of get this news out there and kind of spread this news to everyone. And even if you don't have diabetes, I think it's important to kind of use this as a tool to reach those who do. And that's kind of what's on my heart and what's important to me.
Yeah, and you being a professional baseball player, I think that gives hope to people who are diagnosed with that as well. There's this new $35 out of pocket cap for insulin, so definitely go check it out. For everyone that uses the hashtag Tap the Cap, Lilly will make a contribution to American Diabetes Association summer camps. So very cool. You can learn more about this whole campaign. Go to lilly.com/insulin. And Adam, thanks so much for joining me here. This was a thrill, and best of luck this season.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, good stuff there from Adam Duvall, and it was cool to see him homer right after I talked to him yesterday. It was definitely all me. I made that happen. He'll be right back on track moving forward. He's going to hit 20 homers the rest of the way, no doubt about that.
Well, I think after the work you've done with Adam Duvall, maybe the Mets need to hire you and get their lineup sorted out. But yeah, Adam Duvall, great interview there. And as a Red Sox fan, man, we need him. And looked like he was going to have a monster year. He got off to such a great push in the beginning of the season. He seems to fit the park really well, and just I'm thrilled to see him back. He over a full season. He led the National League in RBIs a couple of years ago. I mean, he's somebody who can be like a 35, 115 guy in a full season. And certainly you couldn't ask, other than maybe Coors Field, you couldn't ask for. And by the way, Coors Field, have you seen Colorado's lineup? Again, I did the fantasy power rankings. I had Colorado buried in the rankings. They have almost nothing. They have like two guys you can play on offense. We know their pitching is something you can never trust. So what a sad situation with Colorado right now. But the Red Sox, they're probably destined to come in fourth or fifth in a very loaded AL East, but it won't be the fault of the offense, and it certainly won't be the fault of Adam Duvall. Welcome back.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, with Chris Sale, with Tanner Houck, what happened over the weekend with the comebacker. So the rotation definitely has some weak spots, but the lineup is very is very pesky, and I expect them to, they'll hang around here, but it's wild card or bust.
It's going to have to be the offense. I've even been using Connor Wong in some of my 2-catcher leagues, who's become quasi-playable with a OPS plus just a eyelash over 100. He's got 6 home runs. Usually bats lower in that lineup. Yoshida has been a pretty good addition for them. And we talked about Duvall, who's obviously a power source and fits that offense well. Rafael Devers, who they were able to keep. Nice to see them keep a guy after they couldn't keep Bogarts. They couldn't keep Mookie Betts, which I think everybody is still kind of sad over. But they're going to be, at the end of the year, they're going to win like 83 games. And they're going to be a really fun 83-79 team. And there's going to be a lot of 11-10, 9-8 keg tappers at Fenway. And so, we'll certainly take that for fantasy purposes.